Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to your comprehensive guide to the UK student visa. If you're dreaming of studying in the UK, then you've come to the right place. In this video, we'll walk you through everything you need to know, from checking your eligibility and navigating the application process, to understanding the latest changes and what you can and can't do while you're here. In this video, we'll be discussing the following topics. 1. Visa overview and eligibility. 2. Application process. 3. Bringing dependents. 4. Financial requirements. 5. At immigration. 6. E-visa. 7. Your rights and restrictions. And 8. The graduate visa. 1. Visa overview and eligibility. Alright, let's kick things off with a general overview of the UK student visa. As we mentioned, this visa, part of a student route, is your gateway to pursuing further or higher education in the UK, having replaced the old Tier 4 General Student Visa. Now, when it comes to who is eligible, the age requirement is clear. You must be 16 years or older on the date you apply. Crucially, you need to have an unconditional offer for a place on a course from a licensed student sponsor that's a recognized UK college or university. Once they accept you, the institution will issue you a confirmation of acceptance for studies, or CAS. This is a digital reference number that contains important details about your course, tuition fees, and your personal ID. It's worth noting that the CAS must be issued within the 6 months immediately before you submit your visa application. We've already touched on English language proficiency, and as you know, you'll need to prove your knowledge of English unless you are exempt. The UKVI accepts several English language tests for this purpose. For a degree-level course, which typically requires a B2 level, some of the minimum scores you might need to achieve include an overall IELTS for UKVI academic score of 5.5, a PTE academic UKVI score of 59, or a TOEFL IBT score of 72, though this is accepted by some institutions. If you're taking the Trinity College SELT, the requirement will be based on the module. It's important to remember that for courses below degree level B1, the requirements are slightly lower, for example, an IELTS score of 4.0+. Also, you might be exempt if you are a national of a majority English-speaking country, or if you've previously studied in English. Always confirm the specific English language requirements with your chosen university. Here's a very important point. You must take a tuberculosis, TB, test if you are applying for a UK student visa and you are from a country listed by the UK Home Office, and if you plan to stay in the UK for more than 6 months. This includes countries like India, Pakistan, China, Nigeria, Bangladesh, and many more. You should check the official UK government website to see the full list of countries that require a TB test. You will need to get a certificate from an approved clinic in your country to show that you don't have TB. This certificate is a mandatory document for your visa application. In some countries, there may not be approved testing centers available. In such cases, applicants are required to get tested in a different country where approved clinics are available. Regarding financial requirements, we've already covered the need to show sufficient funds for your first year's tuition and living costs, £1,483 per month for London, £1,136 per month outside London. If you are planning to bring dependents with you, you will need to show that you have additional funds available. It's also important to remember that these funds must have been held in your bank account for a consecutive period of 28 days, and this 28-day period must end within 31 days of the date you submit your visa application. So, that gives you a more detailed picture of what you need to be eligible for the UK student visa. Now, let's move on to the application process itself. 2. Application process. If you're applying from outside the UK, you can apply up to 6 months before your course is due to start, and it's always a good idea to apply as early as you can. If you're applying from within the UK, you can apply up to 3 months before your course starts, but remember that your new course has to begin within 28 days of your current visa expiring. The application involves a few key steps. First things first, you need to secure that unconditional offer and get your CAS. After that, you'll need to gather all of your required documents. These documents will typically include your valid passport, your CAS reference number, evidence that you have enough funds, proof of your English language skills, and if it applies to you, your tuberculosis test results and that parental consent letter. You'll then need to complete your application online at www.gov.uk/student-visa. Now, regarding the fees, the student visa application fee is currently £524. And on top of that, you'll also need to pay the Immigration Health Surcharge, or IHS, which is £776 per year. Processing times do vary. If you're applying from outside the UK, it usually takes around 3 weeks to get a decision. If you're applying from inside the UK, it can take up to 8 weeks. It's really important to make sure that your passport is valid for the entire duration of your stay in the UK. Also, your visa application must be completed and accepted before you travel to the UK. 3. Bringing dependents. Okay, let's chat about bringing dependents to the UK with you. This is an important one, so listen carefully. You may be able to bring your partner and children to the UK, but there are some specific conditions. You can typically bring dependents if A. You're sponsored by a government for a course that lasts 6 months or more. A. You're studying a PhD or other doctoral qualification, which is a level 8 course, or a research-based postgraduate program that lasts 9 months or more at a recognized higher education institution. It's crucial to note that you generally cannot bring dependents if you're coming to the UK to study a foundation course, an undergraduate bachelor's degree, or a master's degree. Each of your dependents will need to submit their own separate application and pay the £524 visa fee and the IHS. You'll also need to provide official evidence of your relationship with them, such as marriage certificates or birth certificates. And of course, you'll need to prove that you have enough funds to support your dependents. If you're in London, this means having £845 per month for up to 9 months for each dependent. If you're going to be outside of London, you'll need to show £680 per month for up to 9 months for each dependent. It's good to know that dependents are generally allowed to work and study in the UK, but they can't access public funds. Remember that their visa duration is linked to yours, so it's really important to stay up to date with the latest immigration rules, as these can change. 4. Financial requirements. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into the financial requirements. As we touched on earlier, you've got to show that you have enough money to cover both your tuition fees and your living expenses. Besides the visa fee and the IHS, there may be some other costs that you need to factor in. From April 9th, 2025, there will be a £55 confirmation of acceptance for studies, CAS, fee. If you happen to be from the EU, EEA, or Switzerland, you might be eligible to claim a refund on your IHS payment if you have a valid European Health Insurance Card, or EHIC, and you're not planning to work in the UK. So, budgeting is absolutely crucial. Make sure that you are fully prepared for all of these expenses, and remember to pay all your fees on time to avoid any delays with your application. 5. At immigration. Okay, so let's talk about what happens when you actually arrive in the UK and go through immigration. It's a key part of the journey, so here's what you need to know. When you arrive at the UK border, you'll need to be prepared to show certain documents to the immigration officer. It's a good idea to have everything organized and easily accessible. Remember, they are simply doing their job to ensure that you meet all the requirements of your student visa. Being polite, patient, and having all your documents ready will help make the process go smoothly. 6. E-visa. Now, let's discuss an important change to the UK immigration system, the move to e-visas. The UK is transitioning to a fully digital immigration system, which means that physical biometric residence permits, or BRPs, are no longer being issued. New BRPs stopped being issued on October 31st, 2024, and all existing BRPs will expire on December 31st, 2024. So, from January 2025 onwards, if you're granted permission to stay in the UK for more than 6 months, you'll be given an e-visa. You can access your e-visa through your UK Visas and Immigration, or UKVI account. To access your e-visa, you'll need to create a UKVI account. You'll need a valid identity document and your visa application reference number to do this. Your UKVI account allows you to view your immigration status, update your personal details if they change, and generate a share code, which you can use to prove your status to others, like employers or landlords. You can find detailed instructions on how to set up your UKVI account by following the link in the video description. If you're under 18, your parent or legal guardian will need to create and manage the UKVI account for you. It's important to be aware that some people have experienced challenges during this transition to e-visas, particularly issues with accessing their accounts and proving their immigration status. However, the UK government is working to resolve these issues, so it's a good idea to create your UKVI account as soon as possible to avoid any potential problems. 7. Your rights and restrictions. Okay, let's get clear on what you can and can't do while you're in the UK on a student visa. You absolutely can study at the licensed institution that's sponsoring your visa. You're also allowed to work up to 20 hours a week during term time, and you can work full-time during your vacations. If your course includes a work placement, you can undertake that, regardless of its duration. And you can also work as a student union sabbatical officer. And importantly, after you've successfully completed your degree, you're eligible to apply for the graduate visa, which we'll talk about later. However, there are also some restrictions. You cannot claim public funds, so you can't access things like income support or housing benefits. You're not allowed to be self-employed, and you can't work as a professional sports person or a sports coach. You also can't study at a local authority-funded school unless you're under 18 and you're on a child student visa. It's incredibly important to stick to the limits on your working hours, because exceeding them can lead to your visa being cancelled. 8. The graduate visa. Finally, let's explore the graduate visa. This is a fantastic option that allows you to stay in the UK after you've completed your studies to work or look for work. If you graduated with a bachelor's or master's degree, the graduate visa allows you to stay for 2 years. If you've completed a PhD, you can stay for 3 years. To be eligible, you need to be in the UK, you must have a valid student visa, and you must have successfully completed an eligible course at a UK higher education provider. You apply for the graduate visa online after you've completed your course. You'll need to provide documents such as proof of your identity, your CAS reference number, and evidence of your relationship with any dependents, if you have them. The graduate visa application fee is £524, and you'll also need to pay the IHS at the standard rate. The processing time for this visa is usually around 8 weeks. It's important to remember that you can't extend the graduate visa itself. However, you might be able to switch to another type of visa, such as the skilled worker visa, if you meet the requirements. And that brings us to the end of our in-depth guide to the UK student visa. I really hope that you found this video helpful. I want to stress that immigration rules can change, so it's always essential to check the official UK government website for the very latest and most accurate information. If you have any questions at all, please do feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you found this video useful, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel British Portal for more helpful content. Thanks so much for watching.